Hi, this is Emma, and I'm just here to talk a little bit about my experience in Paris. The lead up to Paris was awesome. We actually were able to do a training camp in Mulhouse, which is a city maybe an hour outside of Paris. And it was organized by Pan Am Sports, which was really cool. So basically, all Pan Am Sports countries, which is all the Americas countries, came and attended this camp, and they all sent their representatives. And so it was really cool, especially being able to meet people from our region that I hadn't met before. And it really created this atmosphere of almost a team going into Paris, which was really cool. A lot of us are smaller countries, so it was awesome to kind of be able to walk into the village with, 40 other people that you'd met over the last week, or in some cases you'd known for 10 years. And that was an awesome environment. And it was really cool in training and stuff. There was a few days where a lot of us had, we were all training individually and doing our own programs, but a couple of the times, we all had some fast days or some particular race-paced simulation days, and we all did them together. And it was really cool to be able to have that kind of race practice and race people that were also going to be swimming your event in Paris in this training camp leading up to the games. Yeah, I think talking a bit more about behind the scenes of what happens in the village, I mean, it's just so amazing. And I think, a lot of athletes touch upon it on their social medias and stuff like this, but, the social aspect is so cool, and being able to meet people from literally around the world that you would have really no connection to otherwise, and get to hear their stories and their journey and how they got there. And I think that's something also people maybe don't touch on enough, is how positive I would say the village is. You'd think that when there's an atmosphere of 10,000 athletes and they're at the pinnacle of their sport, of course the first few days are definitely more stressful because a lot of people are still competing, but especially by the end and the last few days leading up to the closing ceremony, everyone is kind of sitting out on their balconies, talking, chatting, hanging out, or at the coffee shops, which were really fun, hanging out in the dining halls. And it's just such an amazing opportunity to meet new people. And yeah, I met so many people from around the world, and it was so cool hearing their stories and so inspirational. And then the city itself, I mean, Paris, I think, did a phenomenal job of hosting the games. Of course, when you host in a major sporting event like this, there's always going to be things that go not as planned, but it was incredible. I mean, everyone that came to watch absolutely loved their experience. Being able to transport around the city and watch different sports was so awesome. I was lucky enough to be able to watch gymnastics, track, cycling, triathlon, and they were all absolutely incredible. And it was just so easy. We walked outside the village, walked like a couple minutes to the metro, and then we're able to go to the venues directly, or we could also take the, team buses allocated to us. But honestly, it was so fun exploring the city, and especially it's really nice having swimming being the first week of the Olympics. So for me, that, because I was staying the whole time, I was staying until closing, after that first week was done, like we would go into the city almost every day and explore and, go to new cafes and do events. And, I think the Olympics in general did an amazing job of putting on so many events in Paris for Olympians. We went to the Olympic House one day, which is a house specifically set for all current and previous Olympians, where it's, you walk in and there's huge big screens everywhere, and free food and, free opportunities to mingle and, try out lots of new emerging technologies from, cutting edge companies to do with health and wellness and sleep, and just everything like that was amazing. And I really, really enjoyed that side of things as well. It definitely extends far beyond just the competition, the race itself. And then lastly, talking about the actual race and how I think it went, I was really hoping to semifinal, and I think that was definitely something that was in my capabilities. I would have needed to drop about half a second off my best time to have made it back. But overall, I ended up adding a little bit for my seat time, but I think just the journey I had to qualify was so long. And overall, I was really happy that I went and I put my best foot forward. And, I think all things considered, especially as I've had time now to reflect on how it went, and had a bit more time to let the kind of emotions settle, I'm really proud of how I did. And it definitely, for me, lights the fire for another 4 years. And I really hope to be there in LA and do even better. So yeah, overall I was really happy, and the atmosphere was just insane. I mean, even for prelims, 18,000 people, 100% fully packed, screaming. Like, it was just such a cool environment, especially for an Olympic sport where typically we don't see, venues like this unless it's at the actual Olympics. So yeah, it was absolutely awesome. I mean, the kind of love and support I felt before and after the race was amazing. And yeah, I was just honestly full of gratitude and full of, love for everyone that has been by my side for the last 12 years. And of course, including Millfield has had a huge part in my journey. And I'm still in contact with Ewan, the current director of swimming. He's, been a huge role model in my life for the last, almost 10 years now. So yeah, I mean, huge shout out to them. And especially I was really lucky and was able to do a few weeks training actually at Millfield back in February, which was really, really cool. And training with, of course, Olympic medalists, and to kind of come back to where it all started was really awesome and a really cool full circle moment for me.